with another process video for you today. This one is all orange for a challenge on Inspired by Memories, and I decided I wanted to do some mixed media on this one. I'm scrapping a picture of my little boy holding one of the pumpkins we grew in our garden last year, and the title is Oh Snap, because Stephen, my husband, had picked one, and then Elliot picked one. And he was saying things like, "Oh, I've got one too," although he could barely pick it up, it was so large. What you've seen me do here is use some modelling paste and a hexagonal stencil to put some of that paste through. I've then dropped on some orange watercolour, spritzed it with water, and then added some more splatters. I'm just using a little bit of kitchen roll to dab off some of the wet so you can still see the hexagons through the watercolour. I will admit at this point I completely forgot to put gesso on my layout, but never mind. So I've pre-cut some pieces of orange paper, know where they're going to go. Right now I'm just going to map my photograph, just getting some different pieces of orange. I've taken to matting on vellum. Sometimes I leave it with a really neat edge, sometimes I do a bit of a torn edge. So I'm just tearing here, using the ruler as a guide so it doesn't tear in the wrong direction, but still it's not perfect, it's still all bumpy, which I like. I'm going to stick that down onto the vellum and then onto that orange. Just hiding it behind the photograph there. And it's hidden, that piece is hidden mostly behind the vellum to sort of soften it off a little bit, and then putting it on a slightly darker colour, this darker orange colour. The whole point of this challenge is that this has to be the primary colour on the layout, and since I'm really enjoying monochromatic layouts at the moment, I've really enjoyed this one. So all I'm doing here is putting some adhesive foam onto the back of the photograph to pop it up from the layout. I'm now just going to adhere my strips of paper using some double-sided sticky tape. I pre-cut these down just before I did the video because this also fulfills another challenge on another website, which was to have a starting point, which was those 3 pieces of paper that I've pre-cut there, so 2 vertical and then 1 horizontal. I do put plenty of tape on here to make sure that it sticks, with it having that mixed media background just behind it, and then plenty on the photograph. And then I'm just bringing in some die cut, some cut file pumpkins. Now these are from Handipaper on Etsy, and I have pre-backed these cut files. It took me a good hour and a half, maybe even longer, to do in the end, because I wanted to do the different segments of the pumpkins in different papers, and then there's just a tiny bit of green there on the leaves and a darker orange on a rose that's there as well. I think they look really effective. And I'm just propping them up on foam. I'm being careful to put extra foam where they're not overlapping the photograph, and then less foam where they are, just to get the levels all right. And now I'm going to start embellishing. I've got some perspectives there, some little black ones, butterflies from the Cocoa Vanilla Happiness collection, and some little bits of ephemera from all sorts of different collections that I've got. I've just kind of gone through absolutely everything and picked out everything that I had that was orange, and I'm just playing with the placement now and trying to decide where I'm going to put everything. Then I put things in, I take them out, move them around a bit, decide I want that corner on there but not the whole corner, so I cut it down just so I end up with part of it in there. Playing with some phrases I found in the Whimsical collection. I take that banner off. These are hearts from Colour Kaleidoscope that I've fussy cut. So just tucking a few of those in different places. Just adding some spotty washi tape in a few areas around the side. I did start by putting some of these little tags on because I was going to write down on the pumpkin patch and then realised I didn't have enough letters to do that. And I changed my title a few times here, and I've left it in for you to see because sometimes you put them on and it just doesn't work. So I wrote big here, and I was going to write how big. And then I decided actually I didn't like the gold lettering on here, and searched back through because I wanted to use those black perspectives, and instead I found Oh Snap, and I thought actually that works for a title on here because he was saying, "Oh, I've got the same as Daddy. I've got one as well," and the title in the black there just pops. So wanted that on there. So now I'm just going around with my glue and adhering everything down, fastening all the little bits down. Butterflies I never stick down fully. I always try and pop a little bit of dimension under at least one of their wings. There's quite a lot of little tags tucked in various places, so it takes me quite a while here to stick them all down. And then I'm just getting some white thread to put through the tag that I've cut down, and I'm just going to wind that white thread around the layout and tuck it in various different places. And now I'm just choosing a few more elements from a sheet of Echo Park autumn papers. There's a few little pumpkins, so I just wanted to pop a few extra little pumpkins here and there on the layout. It's a bit more fussy cutting. And then what I'm doing here is a little ribbon banner type thing that says pumpkin patch. And I just wanted that down there at the bottom as an extra little bit of detail. It did take me quite a while to cut it out. There's one more pumpkin here, popping it in there. And then I'm going to get my glue again, stick them all down. And then I think the last thing I'm going to do is add some Nuvo drops in orange, just in various places, and the date, 2018. I do end up cutting down one of the other letters to make a 1, because the ones that were left were in the wrong colour, and I did want it to be orange, so I just cut it down with my craft knife. And then add some Nuvo drops. I hope you enjoy the layouts, and thank you for joining me today. And keep watching for a few close-ups of the layout, and happy crafting!